Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to In Vino Veritas. I'm Anthony, and this is my lovely co-host, Master of Wine, Jeannie. And we're here to share with you everything about the wonderful world of wine. Now, one of the wonderful parts about wine is pairing it with great food.
Yes.
But what types of foods should be avoided?
Well, there's few ingredients that really fight against wine, and I'd say one of them is asparagus. We think that they go very well with wine, and yet they can be a challenge both to red and whites. But for me, Sauvignon Blanc has worked fairly well with asparagus and some other light-bodied whites, but really avoid reds. Artichoke is another ingredient that is very challenging.
Okay.
So avoid artichoke. And the third ingredient is really smoked fish, if you're pairing it, especially with red wine. They make the red wine taste really metallic.
Oh, okay.
And doesn't do the fish any justice either. So those are the three ingredients, the most common ones that I think really fight against wine. And the other one that we all love to eat is Sichuan cuisine and Sichuan peppercorn. It numbs your tongue. It doesn't allow you to really appreciate the fine wine, all the nuances and flavors that it has to offer. So I would say when you're having Sichuan food, opt for beer, maybe sparkling wine.
Okay. So really, really spicy food, probably best to avoid.
Yes.
Oh, that's too bad, because I've had great spicy food. But having said that, pairing some great wines ahead and some great foods, I can't wait for that.
Great.
Wearing the right outfit is always important to everyone, and so it is with wine. A prestigious bottle of wine needs a glamorous case to show its high status. But how do you find the perfect wine case to match your valuable bottle of wine?
We do present Bordeaux wines in very prestigious cases, such as cases of 4 bottles that we call 4-box. And we do also present some wines in very special edition. So that's one wine, one vintage, but in all size format bottle that Bordeaux can propose, which means from the half bottles until the 18 liters. And the idea is to play on the aging potential of Bordeaux fine wines. What you have to know also is that Bordeaux fine wines do age better in big size bottle. So that's the reason why we have created the vintage collection to propose to fine wine amateurs that will enjoy the fine wines all over their life. And also, what is interesting is that the fine wine amateurs can buy this collection and give them to the next generation, to their sons, to their daughters. And these wines will age for years and years. So in fact, all the cases are produced in Bordeaux. So that's why we are proud to put made in Bordeaux as a caution on their case. And these cases are made with craftsmanship from Bordeaux. They use only noble materials such as leather, such as very old oak tree, such as golden beefs. And they use these different noble materials to produce very individual, authentic and very prestigious cases. In these cases, we propose, it's a tailor-made, so we propose every kind of chateaus from Bordeaux. So in fact, our customer can select the type of material and the wine that they're gonna put in the case. So it's a real tailor-made actually.
Michelle Ong is a world-renowned jewelry designer, and she pursues perfection in her life and career. So what kind of wine will suit her taste? Join Jeannie and we'll try to find that out.
I'm here today with Michelle Ong. So Michelle, being in the creative industry as you are, crafting fine jewelry and coming up with new designs every year, does wine provide any kind of inspiration or influence,
Through the journey of learning to understand and appreciate good wine, I've realized that it's very similar to the journey of my creative development.
Okay.
For example, a sip of wine carries with it so many subtle nuances that combine to create that touch of perfection. And it's the same with my creation. I look and seek for that exact combination of the right shape, the right light, the right feel for anything I create. And when it all comes together, you have that moment of pure bliss on your tongue with wine, and that pure satisfaction on my senses with jewel that makes all the hard work worthwhile.
That's wonderful. So I know that you also travel and, experience wine in the different regions, and you were recently in Burgundy.
This summer I went with my family. We went to visit all the vineyards in Burgundy and Tuscany. We managed to attend the music festival in Burgundy.
Yes.
It was a match made in heaven. Exquisite wine and beautiful music. This trip, I feel that there's a deeper meaning for me and my family. Because at Romani Conti, of course, we know our good friend
Aubert de
Villa.
Yes.
I mean, it's wonderful because he talked about his philosophy and vision of winemaking. And to him, and I'm sure to many devoted wine growers, they don't see themselves as owners of the land, but rather guardians to take care of and to nurture this resource that can provide the fruits of labor for generations to come. And he's so dedicated in protecting and promoting the klima. I think that nowadays, young people are too much about instant gratification. For them, sometimes it's easy to lose sight. Sometimes the best things in life may require perseverance and long-time commitment. So this is really something that is close to my heart, to make them realize. Because when they visit the winery, of course, they see how much hard work and dedication to produce wine. But at the same time, it's amazing to think that those dedicated wine growers, what they plant, they may not even have a chance to taste it.
Right. Do you also think the same thing about your jewelry? Because so much time has gone into you creating the right design, picking the right, gem piece and putting that all together. Do you want people who look at that to savor the journey of how much time and effort has gone, or do you think it's a different kind of appreciation?
The more I study about wine, the more I experience, I think there's so many parallels to the dedication of doing something well. I mean, you see the aging process, how long it takes from the beginning to a finished perfect product. Just like with jewelry, to create a good piece, really it takes a lot of time, energy, patience, and a lot of tiny adjustment to make it perfect. I make jewelry to last. It's not about trend, it's not about fashion. Wine is a piece of art, and we enjoy the process.
How can we live our lives and enjoy wine as more of an art?
I think it's very interesting when you think about wine, okay? You have, as you say, different spectrum of wines. You have such rare and expensive wines, and they all come from very humble background down to a single grape. And just like when I make a piece of jewelry, they also come from humble beginnings at stones from the ground. So there's a lot of parallel, and we think of wine as something that we savor, and it brings back memories, and it's not about just drinking it, but with enjoyment and with knowledge. I think it helps to appreciate more.
So wine is obviously an important part, and you have so many parallels with jewelry design. When you're enjoying it every day, especially with food, what are some things that you try to think about, or is it that we're making wine and food pairing too complicated? What's your opinion?
I was just thinking, because it's you can say it's complex, or you can say it's very simple. At the end of the day, you have to choose what type of food that goes with what kind of wine. Expensive wine doesn't mean that it's great for everything, and less expensive wine, I mean, could be beautiful depending on what type of food. I feel very important that my guests should have a good time, and serving good wine and food completes the evening, and to make it memorable.
Last question, Michelle. I know that you are exposed to some of the best wines and best wine regions in the world. What's your favorite style of wine? You don't have to pick one, but what do you like to drink the most? often, more often than other styles?
I really love Burgundy wines.
You do?
I do.
That's why you keep going back.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but basically, of course, there are great wines in the Bordeaux region. I have a weakness for Burgundy wines. They are soft and feminine and very subtle. And in many layers that it reveals itself. It's just simply a wonderful experience.
Thank you so much, Michelle. I hope
Thank
you
you.
enjoy. This is a glass of Riesling.
Thank you.
Thank you.
To explore the world of wine, follow us to France, the quintessential wine region of the world. First, Jeannie and I will head to Bordeaux, the oldest and largest wine growing region. Here, we will visit different chateaux, meet some of the biggest names in the wine world. We will also visit Burgundy, where premium Pinot Noir and Chardonnay are produced. After these trips, you may not be an expert in wine, but at least you'll know how to appreciate your glass of wine better.
So I've been walking around all day. My legs are getting a little bit tired. It's been a great, fabulous day. I think I'm gonna top it off with a nice bottle of Burgundy wine. The good thing about Born is there's a wine shop almost every corner. Like here. Voila. Now we always want to try a really gorgeous, beautiful tasting bottle of wine, but there's a price tag to that. So what's the other option? Well, come to a wine store like this and they have a huge selection of different types of wines from here in Burgundy. And actually they're really quite affordable, ranging from 8, 9, 10 euros up to around $20. And I'm sure there's something in here that we can all love and enjoy. Well, we're definitely in my favorite area of the wine store. These are where the Grand Crus are, top wines here in Burgundy. And they're not badly priced. I mean, from around 100 euro, I can see, of course, up to 200, 300, 400 euros. I'm getting a little bit spoiled. We've been visiting these great domains and chateaux and experiencing great wine. I could afford maybe one of these bottles, and that's okay because they're well worth it. These are some of the best wines in Burgundy. Whoa, little samples of wine. No. Oh, I get it. It's like a smelling, tasting type of lab where you can learn to smell the different types of aromas. So it's like an aroma box. There's 54 of them here. And I guess what you do, you take a smell. Whoa. That is, I'm gonna say, violet. It is. Perfect. So you take a smell from each one of these samples and then you match it. You figure out, is it a fruit or is it a floral? Is it spices? I got this one right. I'm on my way to being a master of wine. Jeannie, I'm coming for you. We're outside the white pearly gates of Domaine Loire, and I heard a lot about this wine. It's one of the most sought after wines and highly regarded, lots of rewards.
Yes.
What else do you know?
Yes. I mean, Domaine Loire is really a legendary property, and you know, apart from Domaine de la Romanée-Conti, there really is no rival. I would say that the two greatest wines in Burgundy are made by Domaine de la Romanée-Conti and Domaine Loire. And the person behind this wine, Madame la Lubise Loire, she is exactly. She's an amazing woman, 82 years old. still rock climbing, highly energetic, out in the vineyard and the fields all the time, and working the vines because she's one of the pioneers of biodynamic and organic farming here in Burgundy.
She sounds like a great person to meet, so why don't we go meet her?
Right.
It is not easy to get a tasting appointment with Madame Leloux Biz Leroy, owner of Domaine Leroy. She is regarded as the Queen of Burgundy because of her stunning profile in the wine industry. She used to manage one of the world's top wine estates, DRC, and she was also the one who embraced biodynamic viticulture in 1988, even before it became trendy in Burgundy.
Alors, en 1988, quand l'occasion s'est produite, qu'on m'a dit que ce domaine Noëlla était à vendre, et que justement la maison Leroy, j'avais de plus en plus de mal à trouver des vins comme j'aime, dignes de porter l'étiquette Leroy. Je me suis dit bon, on va les faire puisque c'est ça. Et justement le domaine Noëlla, c'était exactement ce dont je rêvais parce qu'il avait des vignes un peu dans toutes les appellations contrôlées, c'est-à-dire un peu de vignes à Volnay, Centenot du Milieu, un peu de vigne à Pommard, enfin non, j'avais déjà Pommard, à Savigny, à Corton, enfin il avait des vignes un peu partout. Et c'était bien dans mes idées, à savoir qu'il y a des grands vins partout, que quelquefois un village ou même un simple générique, c'est-à-dire Bourgogne ou Bourgogne-Légoté, s'il est bien fait, c'est-à-dire peu de rendement, vieilles vignes, et beaucoup d'attachement aux vignes, c'est-à-dire les considérer comme aussi des êtres vivants, capables du mieux chaque année. Ces vignes-là, génériques, villages, peuvent être quelquefois meilleures qu'un grand cru. Si le grand cru, si un Chambertin, Musigny, enfin grand cru, n'est pas traité avec la même optique, c'est-à-dire peu de rendement, vieilles vignes, et amour des vignes, parce qu'il faut les aimer les vignes.
After we could barely keep up with her in the vineyard, now it's back to the cellar to try out the 2013 vintages.
This is always a very special moment for me, Madame, because I love tasting in your cellar, and every time I come, the wines here give me goosebumps. It's an emotional wine, it's an emotional experience. So we have the 2013 vintage.
Pour nous, c'est la moyenne.
Oui, c'est average.
C'est une moyenne. Je crois que la moyenne depuis 1988, c'est 15 hectolitres exactement.
No.
Donc là, on est juste à peu près dans la moyenne.
It's still very, very young, harvested in the fall of 2013, so not even 1 year old.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, let's try. As a wine owner, how difficult it is not to start drinking your wine already before it goes into bottles, right?
C'est pas de vendre le vin le jour où il est mis en bouteille. C'est pas vrai.
Wow.
Maintenant, il faudrait vendre les 64. Voilà, 50 ans.
It's very interesting how it's
Vous allez voir comment
fruity. It's already got a little bit of acidity.
c'est pas de la framboise, ni de la fraise, ni de la mûre. C'est le raisin.
This wine will be bottled maybe in around, 6 months to 1 year.
Oui,
Oui.
exactement. Après, le vin reste longtemps à ce stade de perfection, jusqu'à ce qu'il meure, parce que c'est un être vivant, un jour il va mourir.
We don't grow up.
Mais il a toujours quelque chose à dire quand même.
We are so lucky to have met this woman today. She's incredibly energetic despite her young 82 years of age, and you can feel her passion for wine.
So the next wine is...
C'est un premier cru de Vosne romanée, c'est Vosne romanée, les Beaumonts.
So what am I looking for in this
Okay,
wine?
so compared to the village, when you have a premier cru, you know that you're looking at the top 25% of the best vineyards in Burgundy. So better balance, the premier crus, more intensity, more concentration, and there's just more layers and complexity in the wine. And you can see that even from the nose. Here you have more structure, more density.
More goodness.
Absolutely.
More
More deliciousness.
deliciousness. More everything.
Ah, Richborg.
C'est là où on était.
Oui. Now we're trying the really, really rare,
This is
rare
it.
wines.
Wow.
So Richborg has a reputation, really, for producing the most majestic, some of the most majestic Grand Crus, and Madame has a touch of magic.
A special touch.
Richborg. So Anthony, I think when we're talking about the Grand Crus of Burgundy, it is 1% in terms of vineyard size of all of Burgundy. So it's very, very small. You know, and we're so spoiled in Hong Kong that we often see Grand Cru, but from, you know, a domain like Loire, this is absolutely rare and difficult to find, whether it's in the market to buy. Often people, when they want to have the Grand Cru from Domaine Loire, they're buying it at auction, secondary market.
When I drink it now, it's very exciting in my mouth, I guess you could say.
Is this a man or a woman?
A man or a woman?
Ça, c'est man.
It's a man.
Of course.
Well, it's got strength.
Don't say
Men
you're
have
going to say.
Some wines can be a male or female, but these wines are beyond that. They can be
Ça, c'est un bel athlète.
magical.
C'est un bel athlète.
Oh, wow.
Athlète.
So,
Qui roule un peu les épaules.
I love her pizzazz,
Voilà.
the way she dances.